what I really liked, what stands out for me, was the fact that combining the different subjects together was the most interesting. So, for example, we did a course on American history and literature of the 60s and 70s. And what I really liked was, this is what was going on in society. This is what was going on at the time. And obviously there was a lot going on in the 60s and 70s, but then this is the impact it had on society. This is how people were feeling. And so things like the paranoia and things were sort of then came out in the literature that we were reading. So you could kind of see how these themes were developing because of the world they were living in. You weren't studying, here's a book in isolation, reading a book in isolation, which we, had done in literature in the past with A-level. But when you're actually thinking about what's the impact on the wider culture, that was much more interesting. When you look at the politics with the history and film, we did, I did a number of film courses, and it was the same thing. We looked at themes in films and history as well. So I think for me, it was that combination. I went to the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, which is about 2.5 hours south of Chicago, and it was fabulous. I mean, it's a huge university. So I was at Manchester in the UK, so that was already a big university, and also it's very much a student city. So then moving from a sort of city university to a campus university in the middle of farmland was a completely different experience. There were 3 others from my course that went, and luckily we all got on very well. But we met so many other people because there was a big study abroad program there. So as well as lots of Americans that we were living with, and there were also people cut over from Australia and other parts of the UK, all over Austria that we really got to know. What was great was because American studies is so broad and you study lots of different subjects, we had quite a wide range of courses that we could pick to study when we were there. So we did all sorts of interesting things. I did a few film studies courses. I did some anthropology courses. I mean, there was such a wide range. I did some really, really great American literature courses that were probably the standout ones for me. It was really good. But what was also great was because I'd never been before, it was, traveling and seeing America was a big part of it. So we did a spring break tour across from Illinois to San Francisco via Death Valley and Yosemite and Las Vegas, and which was a very whistle-stop tour. But it was amazing to see these places. We went down to Mardi Gras, because New Orleans is directly south of Illinois. It's about a 13-hour drive. So a lot of us got in the van and we drove down to Mardi Gras. We all got to see lots of different things. And the university organized trips as well that we got to go on. So it was, we had, the way it organized over there, you had a roommate, which was brilliant, because then you kind of got to, from in my case, she was able to sort of show us around, introduce us, and it kind of was like an entry into understanding US university life.